Oh, no! I don't know what happened with my camera. I think it's not on, but it is. Hold on 1 minute. What is going on here? It's like it's lost power. It probably got unplugged. Hold on. Ugh. There we go. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Ace, Christian, MBG. How are you guys doing? Hope it's going good. Yeah, I'm also tired because I also like went to bed. Well, I went to bed like even later than that. I went to bed at like 10 a.m. or something. I don't know. Yeah, pretty eepy. Hello, MPG. I already slept from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, yeah. That's me every day, man. Yeah. Good, just wanted to go to sleep. Maybe I'll stay a bit longer. I mean, if you gotta go to sleep, no problem at all, you know? Don't feel like you need to stay up or anything for the stream. Oh, I don't want to know something funny? Yeah, sure. I would love to. Ooh, okay. Programmer sleeping pattern goes hard. Yeah. It's brutal. We're just testing things. I know you guys can't see. Man, okay. So, we're gonna just hop into it. I've been working on things. Last night I got a bunch of things done. So, I finally got this overlay business kind of worked out. I was having some funny issues where it was like... how do I explain it? Like overlapping in weird ways between different overlays, but... yeah, I fixed them over business. I figured out something nice with that, so I'll show that. But now when you place down a collector or anything with a radius like this, it still shows the power radius, right? But it also shows the collector radius. And so this is nice because it just kind of gives you more info when you're placing things down, right? And if you place anything that uses power, so like for example something without a radius and electric furnace, it shows the radius, right? So you can be like, okay, this is in the radius here or whatever. So yeah. That's all good stuff. Yeah, that's been shader stuff is always hard. Spent so much time on this. Trying to figure it out. I also like increased the resolution of the radiuses around these things, and so it looks nice and sharp now. Before it looked a little pixely, I'm sure as you all know. Yeah, things are looking pretty good here. I also did another conveyor belt optimization. Hey, also MBG, thank you so much for the resub. Won't be here much today because I have a family member's birthday. Yeah, that's all good. No problem at all. But yeah, appreciate it. Are easy. Oh, I don't know. I actually, you know, I made another optimization to conveyors. I think at one point I talked about caching the building that it like finds with the raycast, and so I added that change, and that seems to be a little nice boost. I'd say maybe about 50% faster. Well, I guess twice as fast and 100% faster. Or whatever. Percents are weird. Twice as fast. So, when they don't involve maths in my brain hurts, yeah. The math and shaders can get very scary very quickly. But yeah. Things are looking good. I want to make optimization to the movers next. Although there's a lot of things that I need to get done, so that's going to be kind of like not a huge priority. And like you can see on this save, we're almost hitting the 60 FPS mark. So it's going pretty good. And you can see the movers working properly here. I realized what you can do with the timers is you can do it as a physics timer, and so it's a constant like time. So if you process in physics, basically it's a fixed frame rate. And that means that I can just say 0 because then it'll just be the next frame. So that actually works really well for the conveyor stuff. Actually optimized something the other day and went from taking 70 seconds to less than a second. Oh, nice. That's always the best, yeah. Yeah, go take a shower. Okay. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that we're going to have to do. So... I would like to optimize the movers too. I'm just thinking... I want to do that right now. Probably not. They work. I'm gonna work on things that I need to get done. Honestly, I want to get this mini-map, like, done. Because it's kind of, like, looming over me right now. What's up, Milestone? Yes, the game does support multiplayer. Full online multiplayer with Steam. Yeah, I'm just doing it all through Steam because it's way easier that way. Technically, you can play it off of Steam, like you can do manual connections, which is fine. But it's Steam is just way better, you know? So, not really that much of a reason not to use Steam. Yeah, also some options that I want here. I want to be able to set the minimap size and then also do the transparency of it. I don't like how this doesn't actually scale where I want it though. That's kind of annoying. Considering a Godot Steam multiplayer peer. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm using right now. It's the Steam multiplayer peer build of the engine. And, you know, it's been good. I don't have a whole lot of complaints. Every once in a while, there's some weird instability stuff that you've got to work out, you know. We recommend an approach. It really depends. Yeah, I use the nodes to handle the lobby and hosting, yeah. It really depends on what kind of multiplayer you're doing for your game, with your approach. Like even just for example, a cooperative game versus like a PvP game, that multiplayer networking is very different. Mainly for security reasons. I mean, what is the game that you're kind of thinking of doing with the multiplayer stuff? Because really, that's the first thing to ask, right? So where's the cooperative top-down scrolling with magic? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, is it going to be more of a cooperative thing, or do you also want, like, PvP elements, right? Because I think that really depends. That really changes whether you, like, network with server first. And I'll explain more about what that means. cooperative. Okay. So yeah, I mean, then it's not as, you know, troublesome that way. But yeah, I mean, I can go through and run through things. Really, there's two nodes that are important. So you have synchronizer nodes and spawner nodes. Spawner nodes basically just have one spawner node in your world and have it auto spawn in the scenes you want. I haven't really ran into a situation where I need a lot more than one spawner. I have 2 spawners in the entire game, and one's just for a very specific case. And the synchronizer is basically just like sync data. I mean, it's in the name, right? So those are incredibly important. And yeah, I just start basic, start very simple. Just make it so that you can connect, maybe even start with like a chat box or something, and just so you can make sure that data is being transmitted and stuff. It does take a minute to get started with the whole like establishing the connection thing, you know, so I would just get that all set up and ready to go first and foremost, honestly. But yeah, and then you got to do like saving and loading. That's another thing. If you're going to do different maps, and if you're using procedural terrain generation, definitely just sync the, what's the word? The seed and not the actual tile data. We'll leave the outfits and hairstyles to the characters in terms of different. Yeah, I would like to add like hats and stuff and maybe different skins. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be doing that, but you know, at some point. Makes no sense, yeah. Actually, I have 2 synchronizers on the player. So this is the server synchronizer. So basically, I just set the authority on this. So the multiplayer authority is the ID of who basically processes this or who like owns this. It's weird. But so for example, anything created on the server, anything that you do with the spawner node will be the authority will be the server, which is always 1. On this is me forcing this to be 1. But you know, I have other things in here. So like this synchronizer will not be 1. This one will be whatever the player is, which could be some crazy big ID number, right? For the network ID. And this is where I sync kind of the stuff from the player to the server. So I'm syncing stuff like position and velocity. Display name, whether the player is visible. So I do a lot of this syncing from the client, which is fine for cooperative because, you know, if someone's cheating, just kick him out of the server. But this is a bad thing for PvP. Never do this. Because people can change their client and then that gets updated on the server. And that's bad. You know? If the player can control their position like this, for example, I could just say, okay, I'm going to teleport over here. And the server can't do anything about it. And that's bad. You don't want that. That for PvP obviously causes lots of issues. So yeah, don't do that. But it does make this way easier for when you don't care about that. Syncing the position from the client, because essentially I calculate all my movement on just whoever's playing that character and then I send it to everybody else. And it's just a lot easier. Yeah, so the player synchronizer just has like a lot of different variables that kind of just, yeah, updates info about the player. What makes PvP different? That makes it more challenging. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things with PvP. Like I was just kind of mentioning, one big thing with PvP is security. You have to make sure that people can't cheat. And you have to make sure that people can't do bad things. Like, for example, you don't want people to access other people's public IPs, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, it's not a huge issue if someone gets your public IP, but it's, you know, you don't really want to have people be able to do that, you know. And it's also just, you have to host servers. That's just a more logistical thing than the programming. And the other thing with PvP is latency, right? If it's like an FPS where latency is super important, then that's a whole nother layer of challenge of trying to minimize that as much as possible. Obviously, you never want latency, but in a game where it's not life or death, it's, you know, you don't have to worry as much. If someone has a little stutter every once in a while, it's not a huge issue. But if that happens when you're playing an FPS, obviously that's not gonna be a good time. So yeah. So how would you make set player A mines resource, for example, player B sees on their screen? Yeah, so another whole part of this, and this is honestly probably the biggest part, there are nodes called, functions called RPCs. So let me go to my breakable script. So this is basically just a class of everything that the player can break, right? And in here, I have these RPC calls, and an RPC call is basically saying like, okay, so say right now the server is running code. I'm in my process event, you know, like this. And what I say is, I want to run a function. Let's run the onHit function. So if I run this right now as it is, that will just run on the server. It doesn't run for anyone else, right? And it's fine. Sometimes you want that, but sometimes you don't. Like, for example, I'm going to hit this resource. I want it to update for everybody else too. I want to see it shake and do all its business, right? And so the solution to that is basically to do this RPC call. So you can add this header above any function you want. And, you know, definitely read all the documentation on this because that'll explain a lot, right? But RPCs basically are a way for you to sync function calls between clients. When you say on the servers at the machine that the host is running. Yeah, so I'm not using dedicated servers. I'm just, basically it's pretty much peer-to-peer where the player that hosts the game is a host. Yeah, remote procedure calls. Yeah, I mean, you might already know about this kind of stuff if you've done any multiplayer networking, but this is, yeah, what you want to do. It's just how you denote for a function that you want other things happen. There's a few like parameters you pass through. One is call local, which lets you, so okay, if I do this and I do RPC, if it's marked as call local, it'll call this on the server and everybody else. If it's not call local, it'll call this for everybody but the server. So it just gives you a lot of control over what actually gets called and where. You can also do RPC ID, so you can do like a very specific network ID. So I can, if I do RPC ID 1, that only calls on the server, right? That goes straight to the server. So that's just another little bit of like things that you can control with that. So yes, this is kind of the setup I have basically, where it's whenever you hit the resource, I call this onHit function, and that syncs a bunch of different stuff. You know, I spawn in the items. Now, the great thing about spawner nodes is that when you run queue free on a node, it'll automatically delete it for everybody else, right? And that's what's pretty great about these little spawner nodes. But like, I have this rock as a scene in the spawner node. So yeah, if I call queue free on it, now it's gone for everybody, not just the server, or not just whoever called free on it, right? So that's very good. Take advantage of that. Steam multiplayer pure neatly works with the Godot multiplayer. Yeah, it works really well actually. I mean, really the only thing I had to change was just my code to create the lobby. Because, you know, with Steam stuff, there's just more you have to do. You have to initialize it for Steam stuff, right? But like on host here, you have to have different kinds. And so my game, it has single player, multiplayer, and Steam multiplayer. So there's 3 types, right? So manual multiplayer is basically typing in someone's IP address and port forwarding. It's kind of like, you can do it that way if you want. But Steam multiplayer pure, this is the one that people use 99% of the time. But yeah, you can just use all the built-in functions for the Steam multiplayer pure stuff. I just create a new multiplayer peer. I connect on the lobby created. I create the lobby. There, you know, there's a whole guide on how to actually do this properly. But this is basically what you want to do. So yeah. And then you just set the multiplayer peer to the peer you created here. And that's pretty much it. Of course, you pass in your IP and port, but not if you're using Steam multiplayer, because there's no IP or port, which is nice. And it's a very similar thing when you're connecting. Basically, you just create your multiplayer peer again, and then you do create client, and you have to just type in your port and value. Obviously, again, with Steam, it's just the lobby ID. It's not a IP or port, which is nice. So Steam definitely makes this easy, and that's always good. But yeah, I mean, that's really pretty much it. There's a lot of other things you're going to want to do. You're probably going to want to have like a signal for when things like finish loading in and stuff, because, and also you have to worry about saving and loading, but that's pretty much it for the networking side of it, I guess. We appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's always good to, you know, I spent all this time learning all this stuff. Why not help everybody else figure it out, right? I would love to do like a, you know, tutorial on YouTube of this kind of stuff at some point. But it's just hard. I've got so much stuff to do. It's really hard to cram everything in, you know. And with editing, man, editing takes so long. It's hard. That's been kind of one of the great things about getting a publisher, Graham, because it's taken a lot of pressure off of me to do all the advertising and marketing stuff. And obviously I still need to every once in a while, but it's kind of like I can focus a little bit more on actually making the game instead of promoting it, which is, you know, kind of nice. Yeah, I need to work on map stuff. I added this little mini map and it works fine, but there's a few things I need to change. Let me get some more. It's better. So one thing with it right now is that it's very, very slow. So I would like to fix that. I'm just trying to think of how, you know, it's not really as easy as you would think. Basically, the way things happen right now is it does everything in steps. So, so the way it does it is it loads in all your buildings first, right? With a saving and loading. So you get all your buildings, blah, blah, blah. They start popping in and doing whatever. You got your conveyors. You know, whatever. And then after that, it generates the terrain. So what I want to do is only update the mini-map of these buildings whenever they're instantiated in, right? Because right now I do it all in one big loop of every building, and that's obviously not good for performance. So I would like to avoid that. It's hard, yeah. When I do it. Oh, yeah, I'm tired. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is something like this, where every time these buildings load in, it brings it over into an array of their coordinates. Or of just themselves, honestly. I mean, I guess what I could do is just have a signal. We'll do this. I have this fully loaded signal. And this is good. This basically just denotes when everything is like fully loaded in. And so this would be good. Basically, I just do this, all of this stuff once, and then after that, then I can make it easy for myself. Yeah, I think this will work. Yeah, I'm just thinking here. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm working on Starground right now. I'm currently just doing some mini-map stuff. I'm getting that all worked out. Can show you what we have going on here. I'm kind of just working on making it run a little bit better. Updating it every 5 seconds and going through every single thing in the game and redrawing it, not really is, nah, it's kind of stupid. So I'm just trying to figure out ways to not be dumb with it. But making this change should help a lot, doing that on fully loaded. You won't get those lag spikes, at least for a minute. So see, it instantly has the map ready to go and loaded when you join it now. Before it would like be kind of weird and corrupted. So, I mean, that's a good change. And that's fine to do that slow update on the beginning of the game. Really not a problem because it's, you know, 10 milliseconds. You won't notice that in loading time, but you do when it's, you know, every 5 seconds though. Well, I just released my first basic little game. Oh, appreciate it, yeah. If you've got links or anything, you know, feel free to... Oh, man, we got ads, though. Oh, you actually do have... I'm Gaming sub. Wait, is that a sub, or is that just... What is Prime? Does that mean... I don't know. I don't remember if that means... No, I think that... Okay, epic. So yeah, you don't have to worry about ads, I believe. Yeah, that's cool. If you ever, you know, have links for stuff, feel free to put it in chat. Oh, it just means they have Prime? Okay. Never mind then. I will wait. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I could check this out real quick.
The aim of SpeedGrid is to click as fast as you can.
Got it. The tower light up, you need to click this blue tile fast you can. Alright. Let's try it. Okay. Start. Oops. Is that good? I don't know. Save my high score. Yeah, that's cool. It's just a game someone's been working on. We're checking out real quick. High score thing's dodgy. Yeah, I don't think it's working. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. It's just a fun little thing to test out some mouse accuracy. Yeah. Something to work on. Yeah, absolutely. It's the glory of living in the modern day age is we can update things. So welcome back, MBG. Or I already said that. Okay. So I've got to figure out this map stuff. So I can actually grab specific pixels, right? Which is interesting. I'm gonna do this. I'm actually gonna create a new function here, which is function draw building, and this will just be better for later. I'll just pass in the building. Let's do draw building with the building. So chord is not declared. Yeah, I need to know where to draw it. Map size not declared. Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna do this. Oops. And new texture. Display texture. Yeah, we'll just move that up here. All right. Hopefully that'll work. Actually, I'm gonna change this, I think, to full. Update map full or something. Ah, it's okay. As you're releasing millions of CDs on the market, and then you realize you made a spelling error for part of the game. Yeah, it would be bad. There's probably been times where that's happened. It made quality assurance so much more important back in the day, because you really do actually have to find all the bugs. And yeah, it's the reason why I think franchises were such a big thing. I mean, obviously they still are, but you know, you saw games that would easily get into the 5 or 6 plus like entries in the franchise. And I think it's really because like making V2 of your game is fixing the bugs of your old game, you know. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so I have this working. Okay, yeah, what I want to do is just be more deliberate with, you know, what it is. So I can also do this. I still have the new texture thing here. Let me do function. Update texture. Okay. So this lets me kind of fine tune that. Update equals false. Now I'm just gonna say if update, then update texture. It's good things and bad things, like those games that release updates without checking much. Just, yeah. I mean, that is one big negative. It's easy to break things. Yeah. How long have I been at first language I spoke is evil does? No. Basically since like, I mean, it's hard to say. 2017 was where I first started doing like programming stuff. So I would say technically that was since then. But I really sucked at it back then. I got my degree this year in computer science, and so that has been a big help. I started that whole thing in 2020, and I learned a lot in that period. Definitely from school, but mainly from me just practicing and doing my own stuff. I'm in college at the moment too. Oh, nice. Nah, I'm more around 2017. That was the time I first touched programming. You know, me doing programming wasn't like I'm a programmer now. It was more like, you know, everybody's drawn something, but it's kind of like, not everybody's an artist though. Like, I programmed, I mean, not quote unquote, I did program, but it sucked and I wasn't really serious about it until university, so much more from doing my own stuff than from university. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. University honestly was just a whole lot of math. It was fine and all, you know, I mean, there was good things about it, but most of it was kind of like not really super helpful. But yeah, this just is what it is. Okay, sorry, I'm just thinking here. So here we can do draw building now, and basically that means that we can say whenever a building's created in the world, we just draw that one pixel and then we're good. Now the thing is though, is we need to have it go the other way, right? And so I need to figure that out. But basically it's just going to be the opposite, right? So we loop through the same pixels, but now instead we're going to do so what is this? I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Because now I have to revert it back to its old textures, or its old colors, essentially. So it gets a little more complicated. The programmers that started yelling didn't just go straight into it. Most learn it as a way to create something they want, like games or tools. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny when you hear people that are like, you know, this person is a prodigy. They've been programming since they were 7. But really, it's people at 7 years old are stupid. You know, everyone's stupid when they're 7. If they're going to be programming at 7, it's not going to be what people think it is. It's going to be like, I programmed Hello World. Yeah, you know? And then they don't program for 5 years, and then they start doing it in high school. That's most of the time how that goes. Sadly, math is really important in programming, yeah. I mean, it really depends on the type of programming. It's definitely good to just have, like, a solid understanding of math. I think most, like, the biggest thing, at least that I use with math, is more just regular algebra and like geometry, because there's a lot of cases where, like, you know, I'm doing circle stuff with pi and like dealing with angles and radiuses, and so it's definitely good to know about that stuff, and just about general stuff like calculating the, you know, oh, I don't know, the increase of stuff. So like 1.5 to the power of x of like, what is the cost ramp of this research or whatever, you know, which is like this kind of thing. But, you know, I'd say 80% of the time, the only math I'm doing is plus, minus, divide, and multiply. It's really not too bad. It just depends. So what's up? Welcome in. Those are the worst, yeah. They could be annoying to deal with. I'm pretty used to knowing, like, dealing directly with degrees, but radians is hard. I always have to convert from degrees to radians. Unless you're doing something ultra specific, then you won't need super high level maths, yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of shader stuff that does require math, and that sucks. A lot of, like, linear algebra with that, and I hate linear algebra. You know, all the stupid stuff. Multiplying matrices, and your eigenvectors and values, and your imaginary planes of existence, and... This is the stuff that I hate. I don't like linear algebra. I did have to take a linear algebra course. I had the worst teacher I've ever had for that class. And it was especially bad because I already hated linear algebra. So I think it's definitely given me a bad outlook on linear algebra. Linear algebra is like fine. It's definitely useful and there's a lot of good uses for it, but man, it's kind of like hard. The basic stuff, like multiplying matrices, is nothing, right? But then you get into, like, proofs and stuff, and it's just like, oh my god. Like, all this stuff is super easy. How to add up a matrice, how to multiply it, how to divide it. It's not that hard. But, oh man. Luckily, we have our programs do it for us. School math is stupid in New Zealand. Always had to show my working, and even if the answer was correct, if they didn't like how I got to the answer, they marked it as wrong. It's the exact same thing here in the US too. I mean, I understand why they, you know, need you to show your work, because obviously it's like proving that you know what you're doing. But it can be really annoying sometimes, like having to do it in their specific exact way. That's the thing that I don't like sometimes. I feel like in a lot of ways it kind of stunts people's creativity in solving problems. Having to follow their specific format and not actually being able to try new things. Because one thing that I think is really like left out with math stuff is how visual math can be if you actually do it. Graphing stuff, I think, is one of the most helpful things for me in doing big, complicated math problems. And it's funny that there's a lot of problems you can solve this way. You know, basically any kind of polynomial you can solve with solutions, you know. Like, basically, where does x squared equal 4? So here's your solutions, 2 and minus 2, right? And there's a lot of... I mean, this is an ultra basic example, but there's more things that you can solve with a graph than you might think. Unfortunately, in school, it seemed like the graph was kind of always just for geometry, you know? And, like, ultra specific problems with graphs. But I've messed, you know, in high school, I messed around with it a lot, and it's way more of a useful tool than school ever made me realize. Like, I don't know, it's disappointing that like, why not? Why not show people how to solve things easy and in a visual way? I don't know, it just seems odd that, like, these things are banned. And I don't see, like, what's the problem with making it easier to understand and faster to do? I don't know why that's an evil thing. I don't know. It's just weird. School's stupid, honestly. If you really want to learn something, just you have to want to learn it, and you have to kind of go your own route. I feel like it's sometimes the most important. School is great for a super ultra base level thing of knowledge of like what is this thing and what are the absolute basics for it. But if you really want to get better at something, I think you have to kind of do it yourself. At least for me. This programmer trying to get into game dev with Godot. What are the best resources? There's a lot of different spots that you can look at. The docs are, I'd say, probably your most valuable resource. Very good stuff here. You do have to understand, like, kind of how to read them, but really, it's not that hard. You just have to learn the basics, and one of the great thing about the Godot documentation is it kind of shows you how. So there's Introduction to Godot. This is basically your tutorial for reading the docs of like how to understand what the docs are saying. And so it's like, okay, using GDScript. Well, let's go read up on GDScript. GDScript, like Introduction to Dynamic Languages. They have a bunch of introduction pages here, which is great, right? And so definitely read through this. This is honestly probably one of the first things you should read through. I mean, it's like, you know, if you play a game, you're going to play through the in-game tutorial first. You're not going to instantly disable the tutorial and go look things up on YouTube. I mean, some people do, but, you know, use what resources the engine is giving you. And I think that's what the docs are. But yeah, just read through this stuff, understand how GDScript works, and then you can go look at whatever you want. So I'm going to go look at, you know, let's go look at a canvas layer, or let's just go look at a sprite 2D. So this is a node in the game, or in the engine, and you can figure out what nodes are and stuff by reading through the documentation and the tutorials. But then you can read through properties, you can read through methods, and this is how you can kind of start to understand what nodes can do. And yeah, videos are good too, you know. I would just avoid the ones that's like, the ultimate 16-hour everything you need to know to become a professional game dev, because it's not. You can't learn that much stuff in a mere 16 hours. It takes years of practice. And so it's really frustrating with those videos because it's basically a quick fix to your quick fix. It's not actually a quick fix. It's a marketing thing. It's just an easy way to get people to watch your video because people want a quick and easy shortcut. And so they're going to see that video and be like, okay, I want to learn, so this is what I'm going to watch. This is all I'm going to do because this is the ultimate tutorial and this has everything that I need to know. And then they watch it and have no idea what they're doing because they're just following everything they're writing out, but they don't actually know why. And so it's just kind of, I don't know. It's not a good way to learn. If you want to learn by watching a tutorial, watch a very specific tutorial. You know, say you want to add a jumping mechanic. Watch a tutorial just for a jumping mechanic. Nothing else. Just be specific. And yeah, there's also, like MG saying, a lot of other places you can. There's also like a Discord server where you can get help on. The subreddit. There's places all over. So, the Big Boy Games Discord server. But yeah. First time I used Godot, I used it for the 3-day game jam. Yeah. We try everything for myself instead of looking at 20-minute tutorials. Yeah. I need to read the docs, understand answers people give, and how to give well, or how to Google well. Sorry, I can't read. In my opinion, the best skills you need to get into. Yeah, I totally agree. Honestly, yeah, it's really valuable to look up your problem. You know, I'd say looking up your problems is, yeah, a big skill. And some people think that's like a a beginner thing, and obviously it is a beginner thing, but it's an everybody thing. People, like, solving our problems should be something everybody can benefit from. Like, okay, let's say I'm running into a problem with this thing. What is this error? Expected, I know what this error is, but you'll get an answer super quick. So, you know, so I can just say Godot, expected indented block. Go find any of these forms. And now someone can explain it out for you step by step. And why not? Why not look at that stuff, right? Why not figure it out that way? It's easy. Take advantage of the trouble other people have gone through to solve their problems. That's a big thing. Tutorials, videos that are actually not tutorials, like they showcase what they've done and how they've done it. Not exactly a tutorial, just an explanation. Yeah, that's definitely great. So hey, I think for the follow. Yeah, like, that's a good thing because it's a good base for you to kind of work off of your own system. I think it's really important to do your own code. And you can look at other people's code for inspiration, but you have to fully understand everything you're writing, and it's also super important for going back to it and changing it, because if you write bad code and have no idea what you're writing, you're definitely not going to know what it is in 6 months' time. So, yeah. To get a different job, we'll have time to dive in deeply. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if it's just a little bit every day, 30 minutes of just dabbling around and writing some little things, that would still be a, you know, a huge thing, honestly. Stuff is funny because beginners Google a lot, medium skill people say you shouldn't Google, and then the pros also Google. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up, MVG, yeah. Like, yeah, I think the secret to Googling problems is try not to just blindly copy and paste things. And if you do copy and paste things, make sure you understand why it works. Because that's how you actually learn and solve problems. But yeah. LeetCode burdens many of your nest loops. I know. I mean, you know. Game development's kind of a different thing from LeetCode problems. The lovely thing about, like, performance optimization with these kinds of things is that I can write stupid bad code because I can just say, okay, don't run this 60 times a second, just run it once every 10 seconds and you're fine. Like, there's so many ways to optimize games, like, and like I can have this run, I don't know, before you even load into the game. And so, like, yeah, there's a lot of cases where I have a bunch of nested for loops, and it's fine. It doesn't really cause much of a performance impact. I really only optimize when it actually needs optimization, because if I spend all of my time optimizing things that, oh, I get to save 0.001 milliseconds, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Turn optimization is devil of devils. It is. Don't optimize unless you actually have to, unless it is making your whole game lag, because it's just going to make everything more difficult. Look at my just plays during stream. Like him, but not so much as code. Yeah, I know. My code is funny, but you know, it gets the job done. Yeah, LeetCode is basically just like kind of challenge problems for programming. This looks a little wacky now. But they have like a lot of like challenge questions, like all these. Like, I haven't really used it very much, but this is like their list of. Oh god, just froze my whole computer. Are we good? I don't know why LeetCode froze my whole computer, but it did. Yeah, I think we're fine. But you can just go to any of these, like, to some. It's basically just presents you with like a problem and what the output should be, and then you just have to solve it over here. This is in C++. You can do basically any language you want to program in, which is nice. Python, which is just like Godot. So this is good for like algorithmic stuff, but not really good for real life cases of things. So keep that in mind. Such waste of time. I mean, yeah, it depends. It's a waste of time if you're expecting to learn practical real world skills from it. Basically, it's like it doesn't apply to the real world. It's a fun little puzzle to solve. It's like how solving a Sudoku isn't gonna make you a mathematician. It's just a little like puzzle game. And that's essentially what it is. It's good for you to learn through those things. And there's probably some cases where you see, you know, you solved a leak code problem here and then you use it way later over here, but most of the time you're probably not going to. Until I try to make a modding cry. I'll try to make the modding support good. Would you recommend learning Python or Python 3? It's all just different versions. I mean, I think Python is just... yeah, I mean, I think 3 is the newest one. Just learn the newest Python, honestly, you know? Python 3.12. For some reason, there's some stupid ideology, especially when I went to university, from some teachers that you don't want to use the new stuff. If you're using C++, you better use the 2008 version or whatever. And it's just dumb. I mean, come on. Okay, yeah, if you're working on an ancient code base of something that uses a super old version of C++, then maybe you want to practice that one. But, you know, there's a reason why things upgrade and why they update over time. I just use the newest one. You know, unless you're working for a massive big company, you're always going to use the newest one. So we got an ad. I apologize. Now we wait. Ugh. Freeze always. Yeah, I don't know why. Some people get them, some people don't. Oh yeah, ads are over. Sorry about that. I hate the ads. Everybody hates the ads. I can't disable them though. But yeah, just learn the newest stuff, honestly. Anybody that tells you any different, like, oh no man, the new one, they did this thing, you got to use this older version, don't listen to them. You're just gonna get stuck in the past if you're always trying to use the oldest version or whatever. It's just not worth it. It's like those people that refuse to upgrade from Windows 7 and now they can't use 80% of their programs because they'll drop support for Windows 7. Just don't do it. I think it's important to keep up to date with the new technology. Try not to get stuck in your ways. because that's how you continue to improve. Yeah, Python, GDScript. GDScript is basically just an offshoot of Python, so basically the same thing. The only difference is the functions and stuff and some minor syntax stuff, but it's almost the exact same. A case where it made sense for teachers to use an old version was when we learned assembly, because older assembly is simpler and has less things to learn. Yeah, I mean, there's cases where it's fine to use an older version like that, yeah. But it's frustrating with a language like C++, where really the only difference between the old one and the new one is that the new one has better quality of life things. So, what's up, Bobby? I did not do this already. This is mini-map stuff. I was working on it, but I need to make it run better, and so I'm kind of breaking things up into different functions. Funny, I apologize for the ad. Oh, it said the ad is over. Yeah, it's hard with the latency stuff. I never know if the ad is still on. Don't have any ads because I have an ad blocker, but funnily enough, it just switches the ad and stream. So I'm still watching the stream and the ad plays. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I also have a Twitch ad blocker, I'm not gonna lie. So. I wouldn't say it's a baby Python. It's things that are different. Some things are missing. Some things better. Yeah. Yeah, it's honestly, it's just GDScript is designed for game development, and so there's going to be a lot of things that are great for game development, but might not be so great for other things. So that's kind of the difference, honestly. Title says controller time. Yeah, I will get to controller stuff. I just gotta fix this real quick. It's a constant balancing act with this kind of stuff. You know, are you going to work on this? Are you going to work on this? And eventually I've just got to start marking things off the list. And right now I've already started on the mini-map stuff. I want to finish the mini-map. Right. And we will get to controller stuff. It's hard to title streams, you know, because the order in which I need to work things kind of dynamically changes. So, yeah. Each script also under the hood performs faster, but that's their conversion to, yeah, it's C++. Yeah, the whole engine and everything is written in C++, so it's pretty good. So just say, oh yeah, no, I mean, you can do other things, yeah. I've seen someone make a lot of really cool programs, drawing programs and stuff, so you can do all sorts of stuff with the Godot. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely game development oriented, but it doesn't mean that you can't do programs, right? So. Okay, so this will probably work, but I don't know. We'll try it.
I played Starground and noticed the robot arm weapon part has 0.5 delay added to the weapon, but the stats only say +1 reach.
I'll have to check on that. It shouldn't have any delay, actually. So that's kind of weird. But thanks for letting me know. Gonna remake Discord 3 hours. Oh man. Yeah, that would not work. Okay, so I'm gonna call this group function, and this will let me activate updating the mini-map. I'm just gonna say draw building. Yep. And I'm gonna pass so there's a bunch of things I have to pass. First thing will be, so coordinate building and update. So global position, self, and true. So we're just gonna see if this works at all, first off. We're just gonna basically load into a brand new world. I don't know if it will, but control notes for UI apps are super good. Yeah, it is. Last time I played and used it, didn't seem to have a delay. It shouldn't have a delay. Because that's the whole point of it, is that it like gives you reach without the negative downside, right? So if it does, that's something weird I'm gonna have to fix. And add it to the group. Hold on, I gotta restart. And then basically we just have to have another one of these for when the node deletes itself. Okay, let's try this. Let's just create a new world. Is this our world? Okay. Was that the world that I... Was this the world that I just generated? Hold on one second. I don't know if it was. I feel like it's not. But I don't know. Oh, it is. Okay. That'd be bad if it wasn't. Excuse me. I just sound tired. I'm thirsty. I'm sorry. So what I expect to see here is for that building to show up on the minimap, the furnace, when we place it. Hopefully it does. We'll see though. No. Oh, building is not what I think it is. Yeah, I gotta do this. That. Then if building. And same with this business down here. Building. That should be the building name. Okay. So that kind of changes some things. So in here, I don't want to do that self. I want to do building name. That should basically do it. So let's try that again, shall we? Building a little program for my work in Godot. It's definitely not just for games. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff with Godot. I mean, really anything you want. There's, you know, sure, it's designed for games, but it doesn't have to be for games, right? It does have a lot of features that are for things that aren't games. I mean, you know, games are programs, just like any other program, right? So they're going to have things that are not exclusive to games, of course. Let's just create a new map. Sure. Thought I was cut off. We're fine. Okay, we need stone. And try this again. Sports presenter? Yeah. Presentator. Alright, let's check this. Okay. Well, it didn't draw, it didn't work, but didn't crash. I mean, hey, that's something, right? Just gonna print here so that we know if it's actually running or not. Okay, so it is running when I place it. Something just must be wrong. So what would that be? I'm also gonna check if this is running. So that's also running. So update texture for some reason isn't working. I don't know why. What is this hex? Should be this hex. Let me just make sure on this. Oh, that's the logistics hex. I see. Let me go fix this building color. Okay. Weird. So update texture does run, but for some reason it just doesn't actually update the texture. And I don't know why why that is happening. We'll figure it out. Because it was literally just working before, right? So it's weird.
But then these thoughts start to cloud up my mind. The little goblins say, how do you do? At least they have more manners than you. The goblins in my brain tell me what to do. I'd rather listen to them over you. Please spare my friend.
Alright, let's try this.
Ship will never end.
Still doesn't work, and I don't know why. Oh, god dang it, I know why.
Even if I cause a ruckus.
Yeah, I figured it out, guys. Because I'm not drawing on the right coordinate. I forgot that chord is not the same as global position.
They tell me to do various acts. Kill the policeman with the sharpest axe. The axe is sharp.
Alright, so we just have to make some changes here.
That's why there are goblins in my brain. The goblins in my brain tell me what to do.
Okay, that'll fix that.
I'd rather listen to them over you.
So coordinate. Then we have to do the same check on the coordinate boundaries.
I need to follow their instructions even if I cause a ruckus.
Alright, that should work. Let's try this again. Look, it updates the map when I place it. And then when I break it, let's try that. Okay, so that did not work. So we have to figure that out. Oh, duh, I didn't add in the script call it. Yeah. So I do have other functions in here that do stuff. Tree. For drop. So I know there's eggs. There's a bunch of different ones. Let me just do this. So exit tree is when it's about to leave. Which is what I want to do. So that should work. So we see the furnace here on the map. I mine it. Doesn't delete itself, but it's probably because I need to restart the game. So let's do that. Let me also make sure, like, that I'm not doing this in other buildings already, because that can cause issues. Okay, that's, like, literally the only spot in the entire game, so we're good. Let's try this again. Oh, man. Pretty funny news from my work. We're losing our jobs. Oh, sorry to hear that. 1 month left. We're gonna release the game next year after more than 2 years of work. Now I can put up my portfolio because I've signed an NDA. Oh, you can't? Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's too bad how volatile the game development industry is. It's honestly one of the reasons why I really would love to work for myself, right? Because I don't want to have to put up with all the stupid garbage that large game development studios would be doing. Maybe non-existent. Oh. Let's do this. I'm also not going to do any of that stuff unless it's done its first load. I know there's a lot of nested if statements here, but it's just, you know, this runs so fast it doesn't matter. Code is fast these days. That's gonna break. Let's restart the game. Oh, man. Ugh, I'm tired. Well, I mean, it looks like it loaded in okay. So that's good. Okay. Well, let's try other things here, shall we? So that seems to be working. So one thing we have to fix, though, is that it doesn't do the right color. For some reason. Well, it should do building color. So why doesn't that work? So it does logistic color for that one, which is that hex code. Then building color should be yellow. Which is that hex code. Which it is. But for some reason when it draws that color, it doesn't work. Oh, this is not drawing the buildings, that's why. Let's just do that and then say false and true. So that I can override the checking if it's been initially loaded or whatever. Let's try that again. Okay. Hopefully this works. I'm open right now. I'm open. It's looking good to me. Sorry. Alright, well, let's test things, because that works, but, I need to make sure on everything else. Yeah, so see, that's not working for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, god dang it, I set it to var. That's probably why. Let's try that again. So I got notifications. What's this? Yeah. All right, here we go. Here we go. Ready? It seems to be working just fine. Although placing down a bunch of buildings does seem to have a minor performance impact. Now, I want to make sure that's not the mini-map that's causing that. So I see a bunch of bugs. Data tree is null. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, let me, I mean, updates on the map, which is great. So that's looking good. So let's do this. We're gonna profile it as I place this down. You can notice we don't get those crazy lag spikes anymore. I mean, we did here, I don't know why. I can't really tell. Just some weird random lag spike. But it's, you know, not gonna happen. Okay, let's start profiling. Why won't it let me profile? Hey, when this happens, I go to a frame on the profiler and then it just doesn't let me do it anymore. Then I have to restart the whole game. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It's pretty annoying. Now, if it's just the time it takes for the conveyors to be instantiated or whatever, that's fine. I just want to make sure it's not lagging because it's trying to draw so many images. Alright, we can see what happens when you place the conveyors. So let's see what's happening. And let's try to go on a frame where it was slow. Right there. Okay. It's just conveyed already. So, basically no reason to worry about that then. I don't even see the minimap script in here, which is good. Okay, update texture right there is 0.05 milliseconds. Nothing. So yeah, this should be a very performant map. It should update everything instantly, but also very performantly. I notice it's not doing it on the conveyors, which I find funny. It's not undrawing them on the minimap, right? Don't know exactly why that is. It could be that the conveyor has an on-tree exit script already. It's just not inheriting it. I don't see that here. Delete item, add item. You can push start, update, update. On child exiting tree. But that's it, so should be working. Odd. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's figure out why that's happening then. Just gonna do this, so it'll print out whatever it is when I break it. Okay, so it is printing it. So there's some kind of issue with our thing then. Because it should be calling minimap erase. Okay, so it's getting the position divided by 16, all that business. Let me see if it's even printing here. So it's totally running it. Is it just that update was false? Let me go check on that. No, it's definitely true. Ad incoming? Oh, man. I apologize. So it's even updating the texture. So I don't think it's deleting it correctly, which is odd. So, okay, chord is position divided by 16. Position should always be an integer. I'm gonna print what chord is. Because maybe it's just like too small or something and it's not deleting the right pixel. Oh, nasty. Yeah, this is one thing. We're getting half coordinates on things sometimes, right? Which is obviously problematic. Gotta figure out if I'm doing this right. I might not be. Yeah, I might be getting like the wrong pixel on the map. Because this doesn't seem right. Okay, so these are the values that we're getting here. So we are getting minus 760 divided by 16. Yeah. Which is 47.5. It's a weird half pixel. I think the problem is that pixels are drawn from their top left coordinate. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the issue here. Basically what we're trying to do is, I think we're saying this. Like if this is our grid of pixels here, we're saying like here, instead of like, if we zoom in on this pixel, instead of drawing it from the top left corner, we're drawing it from the center to the center of the next pixel, which is just wrong. I think that's why. So I guess the question is, do I want to floor that? I guess I'll floor it. I basically always want this to be a perfect integer. So hopefully that'll fix that. And then let's also just run through the logic of everything else here. So this is fine. It's just checking if everything's in bounds. Yeah, I do want to floor it, I think. Okay. So this is in range. So range goes from 2. So this will be 0, 2, 4. Yeah.
One day I was walking back to my base, but I heard a hissing sound.
I gotta go. All right, sounds good, MBG.
All my oars were gone,
I will see you later.
blown to bits. These creepers got us
Yeah, thanks for popping in the stream. I appreciate it. As always.
creepers on my back. I can't get 'em off. I made a diamond sword just to kill these mobs. They always try to get into my base. Go
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try to get a nice sleep in.
I spent all day working on my base. I added a little more living space, but the creepers came and blew up my house. I hate all creepers even more now. There's creepers on my back. I can't get them off. I made a diamond sword just to
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure this map drawing is correct, because this has to be right. Otherwise, it's going to be jank.
my diamond sword and I slashed their face.
It's the floor of all that. It's probably going to be the best way to do that.
There's creepers on my back. I can't get 'em off. I made a diamond sword just to kill these mobs. They always try to get into my
Or I guess we could just round it.
diamond sword and I slashed their face.
There's creepers on my back.
Oh, I wonder if it'll start to do it in the wrong position. Like, okay, here it should be at the very edge. Oh.
Into my base, so I took my diamond sword and I slashed their face. Get 'em all! Creeper.
Wait. Oh, whoops. Put another one there. Wait, so I can do floor on a vector? Okay, I'll just do round then. I guess you can just round a vector, which is odd. But kind of cool. So what's up? Did you know about the config of PC? With that? Okay, so that's wrong. Interesting. So I do think I want to floor it. Oh yeah. That's looking pretty precise. The pixel placement. Alright, cool. So the only other thing is buildings that are bigger, because those can be funky. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't do it right. Yeah, what am I doing here? Did that work? Just thinking here. So all that, and then we're going to say minus. I guess we want to get building first. Okay, so I'm getting the building data. Now I can say building dot object size divided by 2.0. Now let's see what this does. Like, for example, if I do a furnace, will this draw correctly? No, it still doesn't do it. I'm gonna do this. I need to see these coordinates. So let's go to, let's see here. The debug overlay. I'm actually gonna print out coordinates in here. I think I actually do it in here. Okay. So that'll show us where we are in the world, which is kind of important for this stuff. So basically this tile is at minus 875 and 247. So we can start to check ourselves and make sure that our math adds up. So the position that we're getting is going to be in the center. So we're going to get 874.5. That's essentially what we're getting here. So we get 874.5. So we divide that by 16, which is that crazy number. I think that's our problem. So I actually want to say position here minus our building object size divided by 2. So if our building size is 1, then that means we'll end up with 874.5 minus 0.5. Also, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And that gives us a nice whole integer. Then we divide that by 16. And then we add that to the map size. So that's going to be 64. So that's our image coordinate. Which I think works. And then we'll just floor it. It's weird that I don't get a nice number. Because 875, divide that by 16. Let me check something here. Oh, it's probably not actually 875. That's why. I can't actually see the true coordinate, but I'm guessing it's, you know, a nice number. But it should be like minus 864 or something, or minus 880. And I think that's divisible by 816. Yeah. Okay, so we should be getting the right coordinate with that. Now we just need to loop through the sides of the building. So basically we get the top left coordinate of the building boundaries. And then what we need to do is just draw the right number of pixels. So now instead of all this weird business, we're just going to draw from whatever we're at. So from chord, and then all the way to object size X. Yeah. That should work, I think. I'm actually gonna do that. All right, so yeah, kind of small changes, but I think it'll fix our issues with the weird coordinate problems. Just to confirm on this, I am gonna draw the furnace because that's like a bigger building, so it should work. What do you mean? Can I convert from oh. Chord.x, chord.y. Wait, no, that'll just be from 0. Yeah. Let me break that again. Okay, so let's just go place it down here in the bottom corner. Like right here. So it should do 4 pixels. Yes, it does. Okay, cool. I think I've worked that out. I just want to make sure that when I actually draw these pixels that it is going to be accurate to the map. Because obviously I don't want things to draw incorrectly. We can also check it for a bigger building like the Researcher that should look bigger. Yeah. So you can see that it's very accurate now. It is pixel perfect. Yeah. It'll be good, because with small buildings, I don't want them to disappear. Like, the conveyors might sometimes get, like, weird and crushed, and I really don't want that, right? I want it to be very obvious where things are, so... Yeah. I think the only thing left with that, then, is just kind of implementing that over into our race building script also. And then I think we're good to go. Really, it's much of the same here. I'm just gonna do this. So if building, we do all that stuff, and then this is really the only difference. Get rid of that other stuff. All right, so we're gonna try all that again. I'm also not going to get cord here. Okay, so let's see here. We're getting the values. That's all good. Now here I want to change this. This is wrong. Alright, that should work. So let's go load up our map again and see what it looks like when we instantiate everything again. So that looks wildly different, but in a good way. It looks way more precise. Colors are not changing though, just because I didn't add it in here because I'm stupid. So let's try that again. One final time. Oh yeah. It's looking nice and precise. Yeah. And see, in the spots where we have like multiple buildings next to each other, like with the furnaces and crafters, it's just one block, which is exactly what I want. And you can even see like fine details of buildings down here, like, yeah. Pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it looks good to me. And it runs well. That's one of the biggest things that I needed to like fix. So, okay, so I don't really have too much else to check with that. I just need to check with multiplayer super quick. It should update the map on multiplayer because it's kind of independent from any multiplayer stuff. But I'm just gonna make sure. Okay. So let's check on this. Multiplayer. Let's just host our regular old save that we always use. And then we will connect. I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping we don't run into issues with the map stuff, because, man, if we do, that's going to suck. Now, as far as I can tell, that's looking pretty good to me. That looks identical. I don't see any difference between the two, which is exactly what I want. As you can see, those are two identical maps, and that's perfect. And the player icon thing is working great, so like this one is this person, and this one's different because it's the other person, right? So that's good. Now the only thing that's left for this mini-map, basically until it's done, is just making it so other players are on the map. And then we're good, and it's pretty much fully set, right? So that is the absolute final thing that we have to set up. And I don't think that's going to actually be that hard. It's just nothing like all this stuff. So hopefully, at least. Now, one thing I do want to check super quick is this. Oops, that should be like that. I'm also going to check and make sure it's in that, like, first rectangle box. Which is up here. Where's that at? No! That's right here. So that's pretty easy to do, honestly. All we're saying is we get map size divided by 2. Okay, so if... we just have to check all these variations. So if it's less than that, or it's less than that -8. So these have to be ands and not ors. We'll fix that. So basically I'm just saying if it's anywhere within this range, that means it's that starting square. Otherwise, we do the check of the other stuff. Okay. Now, what are the errors in here? I'm sure it's just the usual. All the funnies. Yeah. All right. So let's get this player stuff set up. Let's figure this out. So this is like the main player. I mean, pretty basic stuff. It just gets the active player and moves it around. We're gonna have to change this whole thing, though, to show, like... we're gonna have to get a list of all the actively connected players. So... now, I've done this before with, like, the player list. All right, heading to sleep. Alrighty, sounds good. Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. And, yeah, have a good rest of your night. Right here, multiplayer.getPeers. So can I do get peers on a client? That's like what I'm wondering. Okay, yeah, I don't see why we can't. Okay, then we're just gonna say IN texturect.get children. I'm going to sleep. Yeah, the puppet. Let's go. Wish I could go to sleep right now. I definitely wouldn't mind it. But I still got 2 more hours to go. Well, we'll see. I started late, so I might just go 1 more. And everyone's gone to sleep anyway, so... Confirm whether it's you trying to log in. Dadbod Squad. Okay. I'm guessing that was you. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so I get the IDs of everybody connected. And then I loop through the children. I'm gonna say... Let's see. Let's do this. So for every single child in there, if j dot name is equal to I, then we return. The freak. What's up, Connor? Cook today in PE soccer, yeah, nice. Let's see here. Let's just do this. We'll have a list of this. Our active IDs. Then we'll just say if active IDs dot has ID. So if it doesn't have it, then we basically create it. Yeah. Why do I have it like that? Oh. It should just be bar multiplier. Well, honestly, in that case, it should just be that. Okay. I'm going to say texture rect dot. Okay, I'll save this as a script. And this will be saved as a their map icon. Took 4 steps and kicked the ball once and got a score from the other side of the basketball court. Is at the start of the game too. Oh yeah, nice. That's awesome. Congrats on that. We got an ad. There's nothing I can do about this one. For some reason, we ran a function in Lua and it didn't go in order for some reason. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about Lua, but I mean, you're always welcome to bring it up in the Discord server. I'm sure we could figure it out. So, ad starting in 2 seconds. I apologize. Not working now? Okay, nice. Well, that's good. Okay, so get the map icon. Say icon dot player is equal to get node or null ID. Let's see, I'm actually going to do this. Let's do this. Let's just say owner of the minimap, yeah. Get node, string ID. Okay, and then I say add child icon. Hopefully this works. So basically, if it doesn't have it in the active ID, we add the child, and then we have to push it back. So active IDs dot push back. ID. Then I'll just have another check in here, which is and active IDs. If IDs, so if IDs does not have oops. Oh, for and IDs, if active IDs does not have your ID, which is the new ID, then we need to delete it because it's no longer exists. So then we're just going to say this, get node or null, texture rect, then plus string ID. For icon is equal to that. If icon, then icon.queue_free. And then we'll also need to do active IDs.erase ID. Erase. Let me make sure that does what I think. Yeah. Okay, so let me confirm, do a logic check on this. So this is checking, we have IDs in the active IDs list. Okay, so for every single new ID that we have in here, in the multiplayer get pairs, we say We loop through. If it doesn't have the ID, which means that there's a player that has exited the game, then we say icon is that. If we found it successfully, then we delete it. Okay, then creating a new one for I and IDs. If active IDs does not have it, well, let's see. Oh, I gotta loop this the other way around. Whoops. Yeah. And then we have to say if IDs does not have the ID. Yeah, then we get it. Erase it. Say active IDs.erase. Says don't use erase while you're iterating over it, though. So how could I fix that? If I go from a negative index, then that would be fine. But it doesn't work like that. Let's just do this. Then IDs. So we'll go from range, from the size to -1, -1. Hopefully that works. Let me confirm this though. So that'll print 4, 3, 2. Yeah. Ran in order when I had made the code, then after not working on it for a couple of minutes, suddenly stopped going in order even though nothing changed. That's odd. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. Code should be pretty deterministic, but I don't know. Okay, so this is deleting. We go through every single active ID. If it doesn't have it in IDs, then we erase it. That should be fine. And then for all the new ones, if it doesn't have it, then we add it and push it back. We also have to set the name, so icon.name is equal to string of ID. Okay, hopefully this all works. It's gonna be interesting. It won't look like much if it does, which is good, probably. So let's try this. Okay, we got 2 saves here. Honestly, I'm just gonna open up like a fresh one. I don't think I did multiplayer. Maybe I did. Okay, so it does not work. I do not see the other players on the minimap. Don't know why. Still the usual resource gen stuff. I'm gonna print out what IDs is. Yeah, so it is printing it correctly. So if active IDs is nothing, then just ignore it. For ID and IDs, which is what we do here, active IDs does not have it. Then we say we preload and instantiate it. We say player is that. Might be that player is not being found. So I'm just gonna print out what that is, just in case that's the issue. Or did my code work? Looks like it did work. So it pushed it back and stuff. Now does it delete it? Okay, that seems good. It got rid of the stuff. So let me do this. Oops. Let me just clear the log. Is this the client? Yes. Multiplayer. Localhost. So it totally finds them. Just doesn't work for some reason. Okay, well that's not the issue then. Let me check in the code in here, make sure this is all right. Oh. Well, that's probably, if instance valid not active player, let me do that. I think that's what the issue was here. So let me try quitting and reconnecting. It works. All right, I think we're good then. So you can see the other player on here. Hey, Evergood, what's up? Thank you so much for the raid. Let me give you a shout out. Thank you very much. Welcome in, everybody. How's your stream today? Yeah, multiplayer and controller. I just got some minimap stuff worked out, so it is now time for controller. Time that person out. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. Yeah, I'm just working on minimap stuff. So what I'm doing is I made it so you can see other players on the minimap, just because it's, you know, pretty nice to be able to see where your friends are. That seems to be working great. You know, I can see other people. It updates, like it works for both the client and the server. And when people disconnect from the server, it should, yep, it automatically deletes them from the minimap. So we're good. But yeah, I guess the minimap's basically done. Another thing I was working on too today was with the minimap, is getting like the building set up to load in. I'll show you what that looks like. It's amazing. Add an entire new zone to my game for the Merchant Cove where players will be able to buy upgrades for the ship. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. That's some cool stuff. Sounds cool. Yeah, I have to check out your game. I don't remember if you said it's on Steam or if it is available yet or not. I don't know. Hey, if you've got a link for it, feel free to link it or anything. I'd love to check it out. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've been just working away at Starground. This is my game that came out on the 19th. I've been just kind of working away at this new update to fix some issues with things, like with the controller, multiplayer, or an itch. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Sick. Oh, yeah, there's the boat game. Alright. Yeah, because I've read you before and seen this. This is cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That's cool that you've got it built up now. I was thinking of adding minimap. Are they difficult? I mean, there's some things that can be hard. Like I set up this so that it does, like it draws in all the buildings on the screen. And it's a little tricky. Just because there's so many buildings and performance is kind of a concern, and with multiplayer, there's a lot. But, you know, it really depends on the game. Mini-maps aren't too hard, and you can kind of design it around what your game is. So if really the only thing that you need on the map is just some tiles and your individual, like, boats, then that's not too bad. This is hard because, like, these buildings aren't, like, they're static, and there's thousands of them, right? So it gets very slow. But basically, I think for your kind of game, you could basically just do the terrain generation and then little icons for players. And I think that wouldn't be too bad. All my VODs are up, so you're totally welcome to like go through and look at my minimap code, or I can show you right now if you want, just to see like what I've got going on. But yeah, there is a link to my game. It is Starground on Steam. I can just put this in chat. Actually, there's the command game. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, feel free to check that out. It's going along pretty good. I've just got to, you know, keep grinding away at the updates. So far, people seem to have enjoyed it, though, so that's always good. It's in early access, just because I feel like this is the kind of game. It's basically like a combo of automation and dungeoning. And it's more of a sandboxy type of game, and so I figured it would probably be good for early access, just to kind of give me some time to figure things out and test the waters, with like what people actually want. So yeah. So release will come eventually. You know, it's gonna be a while. Definitely not this year or anything, and definitely next year. Who knows how long, right? But yeah. Yeah, early access can be really good. I think for some games, it doesn't really work as well for games that are more harder to, like, change midway through, I guess, if that makes any sense. But, yeah. For this, though, definitely, I could see the benefit of it. Yeah, this has been going good.
All right. Hello and welcome
Oh, God.
This is the
No. I hate how Twitch does that. That happens all the time. I'm sure you've ran into that. It starts auto-playing stuff in the background. It's just like, come on, man. Yeah. Yeah, I do have a publisher now, which is awesome. Graham from Two Left Thumbs. That'll happen like right before early access launch, which is funny. We actually pushed early access back a little bit because of that whole thing, but yeah, that's gone really well. It's he's been honestly a huge help in just like enabling me to focus more on development rather than marketing stuff. Because one thing with like doing it all yourself is you have to develop your game and you have to market your game at the same time, and it's really hard because marketing takes so much time. You know, editing devlogs, creating posts all the time, it's a lot of work. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to kind of just like, you know, lighten up on that a little bit. It saves me so much time. But yeah. It's been good though. I'm glad with that whole thing, so. Yeah, I can show you like what I've got going for the mini-map. It's there's a lot in here, but it's very specific, so I wouldn't worry about it. So what I'm doing essentially, my node structure, is I have a texture here, and that just displays the image, right, of around the player. And I'm dynamically creating a texture, so I have all this data for my world generation stuff. It's just using a noise map, and so what I can do is just take the seed and all the other info in here, and then I can recreate a perfect copy of the map, right? And so I basically take that, I just wait for that to update and generate, and then I can create an image here. And so this is just creating a blank image that's the size of the map. So 1 pixel corresponds to 1 tile. It's just easier that way. Yeah, and then we just loop through the map, we get the value, and then we set it to the right colors depending on this texture map, right? So this is getting the value of our noise map, grabbing that info, and setting it to the right colors. Then after that, I get the... this is a specific thing to my game. It's because I spawn in this little square island in the center, just in case that you get into... like you spawn in water, right? So I have it like have a little land buffer around, so that's what this is doing. And then I run through every single one of the buildings and just draw its position. I draw, you know, it onto the map, and this is all that stuff. It's very specific to kind of how I have buildings implemented, so I don't know if this is super helpful, but you can just say, set the pixel of wherever the pixel coordinate is on your image, and then you can say your texture is now equal to your, like you do create from image, and that turns that resource into an image that can be added to a texture rect. Let's get the position of them and place them accurately, yeah. So, all that, one good thing is that all of my buildings are on a grid, right? So all of the conveyors, all the burners and collectors, it's all on a tile. So I can just grab, like, this tile can be converted into a pixel coordinate, essentially. It's not a 1-to-1, it's a 1-to-16 ratio, basically. So I have it set so that each pixel on this image is a tile. So if I have a 128 by 128 map, then the image is 128 by 128. So it's actually a pretty small image. It's really not that big. It could get slower for humongous maps, but Starground doesn't have anything like that, and so it's really not a big deal. But yeah. But it's pretty simple because I just take the coordinate and I divide it by 16, and now I have the pixel. Now there's some other things to do, like everything on an image. The world is centered around 0, 0, but on this image you would be drawing starting from 0 in the top left, and so you have to kind of add an offset to all the buildings and stuff like that, which I do in here with this. I like get the down in here. I add a vector of the map size divided by 2, so it sets it to the right position in the center. Yeah, it's not too bad. It honestly just takes a lot of messing around with and getting it to, like, developing it around specifically what you need for your game. But just as, like, a general thing of what I would probably recommend, I do like this system of using these, like, temporary image resources to create the terrain, because it seems to work really well. If you don't do any weird stuff with your terrain, then basically all you need is this part, right? Just this. All of this other stuff is very specific, right? But yeah, this is just, yeah, generating the noise map, getting the value at each pixel of the noise map, and setting it to the right color. So that's easy. And that should be no problem. You can copy this, do whatever. The other thing up here, so this is dealing with the players. Now, if it's just a single player game, it's honestly pretty straightforward. I mean, it's kind of like this, but this is getting a list of all the people that are connected. And it's saying, I have this list of active IDs, so these are ones that have been instantiated and are on the map for everybody. So I run through that backwards because I delete them and it would break if I didn't do it backwards. And then I just say, does the current list of connected players, if this active list, if the ID in this active list isn't in this list, then that means that player's been disconnected from the game. And I just find it and then delete it. And then it's kind of the inverse for creating them. So I loop through our active IDs, and as long as it's not in the active ID list, then I instantiate it, set the player name and stuff, and add it. So it's not that complicated. But yeah. And you could do this exact same thing with enemies, right? So even though this is set up for other players, this could just as easily be enemies in your game, right? Because I think you have like other ships, right? That you battle. Yeah, and so like what you could do is just have a list of all the enemies in your game and do this exact same code. You just run through, instead of IDs, this will just be a list of enemies, right? And so you run through enemies. Is the enemy already in the current list? If not, add the enemy, or that does it here. And then if your enemy's been deleted or queued freed, then you just get rid of the icon for it. So yeah. So it's going to use another viewport entirely. Yeah, I was about to do that, but I realized that that's actually really bad for performance. Because the thing is that Godot has like render culling, right? So if you're super zoomed in, it doesn't render in any of the shaders or lights or anything that's outside of your view distance, which is great. But the problem then is as soon as if you're doing a viewport of the whole screen, that's just gone. You don't benefit from that anymore. So definitely want to avoid that wherever you can. And that's why I did this whole system. And it's just a little bit simpler to look at. Having these super basic blocks of colors kind of representing buildings is a lot easier to scan through. I don't need to see all this detail and all the movement and all these particles. I just need to see, is there a building there or not, basically, you know. So I think it's just is better to look at anyways. Yeah, it seems to work really well. The way I have it is I wouldn't recommend doing any of the building drawing unless you have like static buildings. And if there are static, then honestly, they'll probably just stay there. I mean, maybe, I don't know if you have like anything where you can break buildings and build them back up. Because that's why my map gets kind of complicated, because I have to check for these changing, right? And update it every single time you place down a building. You can see that change in the mini-map up here, right? And likewise, I have to have those then disappear when you break the buildings. There's an issue with that, it looks like, with the breaking, so I'll fix that. It's not actually updating the breaking. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Let's go figure that out really quick. Because that seems odd. call minimap erase building. Minimap. That should work. So this is the node groups minimap. I call erase building. It should be working. I don't know why it's not. I have to figure this out. I'm gonna do some print statements in here. Let's go into that. Yeah, no problem at all. I'm happy to help with stuff like that. Enemies are the only thing that changes, so it shouldn't be tough. Yeah, that should be no problem then, honestly. It's always nice to have a simple game. Starground is not a simple game, unfortunately. Well, not simple, but I mean, like, technically not a nightmare to deal with. The fact that this is multiplayer and stuff too is just, oh man. So what's up, Sneaky? How's it going? Okay, so this is odd. It does print this and it gets the coordinate right and all that stuff, but it doesn't do it for some reason. I'm trying to figure that out right now. Let's see if it's printing in here. Which it is. Okay. It might be an issue with the value. That's probably what it is. The value's 0. Okay, so what it's doing is it's not getting the value properly, and that's why it's not redrawing the green back onto the conveyors. The conveyor belts are not paths. They're their own individual nodes. And that's a whole can of worms sometimes. Okay, so why is value not right? Because that should work. Set to the same size as the map. So I do get noise 2D. So the 2D noise value at the given position. Duh. I'm doing it on X and Y. I need to do it on chord. Okay. Let's try that again. This should work, I think. So I'm just going to place down conveyors. I want to see them get rid of. Still doesn't work, though. I'm going to print exactly what that is getting. So that's getting values, which is weird, right? Why not use 2 textures, one for the generated map and the other alpha blended on top with the structures? I could do that. I mean, that's not a bad option. But, you know, it kind of ends up being the same result anyways, because I still have to erase the buildings from the other map. So, you know, that's definitely a change I could do if I want. I probably will do that if I add in, like, deformable terrain. But at least for right now, I think I'm just going to stick with the system I've got. It's very weird. Oh. Well, that's probably why. Okay, let's print this again. I know you guys can't see it, but I just need to check over here real quick. Still doesn't work. Wonder why though. Let me get rid of that side of the formula for a minute. Okay, so I am getting the right values, it looks like. Yeah, I totally am, which is land, right? So, if value is greater than global generation water level, then I do the grass color. So that should be printing in there. Which it is. Oh, so it's got to be core.x plus x. That's our issue right now. Let me do one last check on this. We'll do a live. Okay, let's build a furnace over here. We'll break it. Yes. Okay. Yep, that is working beautifully. Alright, I think I can kind of safely say with that this is officially solid. Now, there's a few other just little quality of life things I want to have with the minimap, like being able to change its size and its alpha transparency in the settings. And so I will do that, but we'll get to that. Oh yeah, chord isn't even used. I should just get rid of this. Don't use delta there. Okay, that should help. Okay, back to our list of things. So we've done the minimap. That's honestly a big thing. I also fixed that. All right. We're working away at things.
Why should I put my trust into the system they've created when the system's completely broken? Waiting for the time when
Can add that to the change log.
thinking about this and thinking about that, I'm using up all my wisdom. I'm stuck inside this loop where I don't know what to
Now I could spend more time to kind of optimize this.
Billy's got it right, my mind's on overdrive. I'm feeling like I'm out of shape now.
And I'll do a few things.
But some things are not.
I want different players to have a different color for their little guy.
Reaching higher, I think I want to retire, but I've never even gotten a pace.
So I don't want it to be white. I want it to be
Tries to choose what
some kind of other color.
in his lifetime. The people that control the strings don't care about the suffering that has been endured by you and I. Waiting for the time when nothing's on my mind. I'm
Maybe just blue.
thinking about this and thinking about that. I'm using up all my wisdom. I'm stuck inside this loop where I don't know what to do, and I haven't found an escape route. Billy's got it right, my mind's on overdrive. I'm feeling like I'm out of sheep now.
Yeah, let's try that. Oh, shoot. It's weird how sometimes this doesn't actually copy. I don't know why. Okay. So that should work there. Client color. If not main, then we're just going to say modulate is equal to client color. Pretty easy stuff.
Waiting for the time when nothing's on my mind. I'm gonna have it in your wisdom. Thinking about this and thinking about that. I'm using up all my wisdom. I'm stuck inside this loop where I don't know what to do, and I haven't found an escape.
Another thing I'd also like is when you're pressing the tab button for the player list, it shows the player names above these over here, right? So that you can see like who's who. I would like to do that. That is action rest. I'm just going to say player list. Then what I'm going to say is we're just going to add a label to this. I'm going to have to copy like what I have down here for the player name. Using labels in scenes that aren't, oh, what is this? So it's a center container. Well, maybe we'll try that. Seems to kind of work, maybe. No, because it does that. That's the thing that's annoying. So I have to figure out how I deal with that in the player. Texture, all that business. Name, name, name. This is where it is, I think? No. We'll find it in here somewhere. There it is. We just set the text, is that it? I wonder how I have it set, though, so that it doesn't move around. I guess I'll just copy it and then move that into the minimap thing. Okay, so this is our username. Ah, it's probably because it's a rich text label. That must be why. Oops. Just like right around there should work. I'm actually going to say this. Okay, that should work, hopefully. I have to figure out the rotation stuff. I'm gonna have to change some stuff here. Should all be basically pretty vanilla. Okay. So here I'm just gonna say sprite dot position, sprite dot rotation. That should work, hopefully. Let's change this back to a regular node 2D. And hopefully that'll work. I'm also going to say this, so name.username.text is equal to our player.username. Now, I don't know if any of this is going to work. Let's check it. Ooh. Man. Okay, so I'm going to host on this one, and then we'll connect with this one. We'll host. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Okay, now we connect. What's going on here? Weird. Just add that on. Where's left the game? Okay, odd. Let's try this again. Alright, so over here, if I click tab, it should show the player list. Getting above their head. Doesn't seem to want to work, though. Let's figure out why. Could be the ordering. Oh, it's at 100, so... Could just be what the username is. Yes, it's not that. Weird. I don't know why it doesn't appear. Let me do this. So that is working. But it just doesn't work for some reason. Let's just do that. Maybe that's why we're running into issues. Doesn't seem like it. Odd. Just trying to figure out why this is not working. Let me restart the whole game. Maybe it's being a little bit funny. You never know. Single player should show the name, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. So yeah, it just doesn't show it. I don't know why. Maybe it's like a scale thing. I don't think it's like a depth ordering thing, but it's hard to tell with these sort of things. Oh, that's probably why. Let's fix all this. See, Jacob Rewind is a big stupid poo-poo head. JK, I love that guy. Yeah, sure. Jacob Rewind is a big stupid poo-poo head. JK, I love that guy. There you go. Yo. Okay. Okay. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna change my name. Stupid. That's not gonna be my new name. Stupid. Okay, so when I press tab, it should show their name. Yes, it's very tiny though. I don't know why it's so tiny. I can barely even see it. Oh, it's because the scale's set to 0.1. I think that needs to be set to 0.5. That's too big. 0.2, twice the size. There we go. Okay, hopefully that works. Seems to be good there. Let's check it on the client also. Which works just fine there. Wait, is this the client? Oh, I opened the wrong one. Oh, it also changes their name. That's funny. It's easy to fix. I just need to say self-modulate. Oh, that's why the rainbow was so dark. I was wondering on that. Well, it's broken now, but yeah. That'll work. Alrighty. Minimap done for the most part. It's really a never-ending rabbit hole of adding little quality of life things, though. So I'm gonna stop there for a moment. I will write down some things, though, in here, which is a minimap alpha and minimap size. Those are very easy to do, so I'm not really worried about getting those done. But I just want to get some other things done right now. With however much time I have left. Okay, so I need to work on some controller stuff. It's a little funny how it is right now. And yeah. So we're gonna figure that out. Now there's this video that was done. It's hard because I want to watch this video, but I mean, I don't really want to watch it on stream. I don't know. Yeah, I watched a tiny bit. I watched the first like 3 minutes of this. Mainly what they're saying was like some of the issues was with oh yeah, not being able to press circle on the main menu or the pause menu. That was one thing, which I think I'll be able to fix. It shouldn't be too bad. Because I actually set it up so you can do it on the others, but not the pause menu for some reason, so maybe we should fix that. Basically in here we have like close pause, I think. Wherever I call that. I just call it a toggle pause. Well, let's just add a specific little keybind for that. So this is where we do toggle pause. So that stuff all gets invisible. Okay. So right here, we're going to say, but I don't want that. Set to the build preview is not visible. Yeah. So I'll do it right here. I'll say if action just pressed, it's like UI cancel or whatever. I think that's what it is. And I'll just say if it's only in controller mode. And then if I press UI cancel, I will say close pause. And also add the save pause is actually visible. Oh, right. No, it's fine because it'll just do it regardless. Snooze the ad. Okay. So now I gotta get my controller up. So let's test this. What this will let you do is close the pause menu with circle. I don't know why I had that. I didn't have that set up before, honestly. Also, what's up, Finn? Forgot to say hello. There's some other changes I want to change with the back button, though. I think right now how it is that when you press that, it kind of just closes everything. I want to work on some kind of like hierarchy. So I know which menu to go to when you press back, if that makes any sense. So like for example here, if I press circle here, I want to be able to go back. Can't do circle there yet, which is a problem. Right. But also like we get in these cases where we're nested. So like we go here and then we go host a new game and I click back. I'm just back to the main menu. I don't go back to the new screen. So I don't really want that to happen like that. So we'll have to figure that out. Controller stuff is like gonna be a lot. I'm not gonna be able to get absolutely all of it done, but at least I can get started on it all, you know. But I just want to make sure that this quick little change I just did works. I mean, it should. I don't see why it wouldn't. Alright. So if I press pause and circle... but see, this is one other issue, is that it tends to open other menus that are binded to the same thing. Right? That is not what I want. So it gets kind of difficult. I don't know, I'm trying to think of how I could solve that issue. If I go into here. Okay, that's fine. And I did solve that with this menu. Like you can click circle and click it again to get out of the menu, right? So I don't know why I hear this twice right now. What? Oh. When I use controller, it does the same inputs on both games. So I just loaded into the exact same game. But there's like weird differences because it's random, right? So you can see that. Like the resources are spawning in different spots. Very weird. Oh, and see, since I just went to a menu... Oh no, now it's like... No. Okay, I fixed it. It is very strange playing two games at once. Would that be a cool idea for a game? Is like you have two games and then you have to like... It's like a puzzle game, but it's two windows that are open. And so you kind of have to like this is a common puzzle I've seen in just in regular games, but like a game specifically designed around this mechanic. That'd be hard. Would be kind of cool. You know, like those puzzles where you gotta get the player into the same spot, like this. We are linked. We are now one. Until we hit something and then we're not. I can pretty much go around and hit whatever I want until I hit something different, and that's a little messed up. Oh, this is so weird. Okay, let's quit at the same time. Quit the game at the same time. Whack. Oh. It's inside tree. Need to fix that. Okay, for debug, let's do one instance. Oh man. Oh. Oh. Okay, ad is starting in 1 minute. Apologize about that. Wait for the ad to be done. Man, get so tired of these ads. Almost. Just a smidge. So tired. Probably be ending stream soon. I definitely will be doing controller stuff, but it's really hard to do this on stream because I want to watch that video. And I just don't want to sit here and watch a video on stream, you know? So, probably won't do that. Yeah. Well, what can we do instead? I'll just rename the title of the stream so I don't get in trouble. To minimap time. And we're just going to keep working on the minimap, I think. Because there's still a few little things I'd like to do. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. So I want to have some sliders for the minimap. What is this? That's the screen shake slider. Basically, I'm just gonna be copying those. V separator goes at the bottom. And the two things I don't want people to be able to control is the alpha of the minimap and the size of it, right? And I think that's going to be nice to have. Because some people might not want it to be too in the way, just kind of semi-translucent. And yeah, maybe some people need it bigger, you know, they have a small screen, stuff like that. So I just want to support that option. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Tired though, very tired. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very close to wanting to go sleep. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I might just end stream right now. I'm too tired. I will add this stuff. It's just, you know, programming and then also streaming at the same time can be really tiring sometimes. And so I'm like, yeah. I think I'll be more productive if I'm not streaming right now. I'm gonna be honest. And I really need to get this done by tomorrow, so yeah. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it then. Let me see, there's so many new people in the group now. I gotta go check.
Tell Copilot, take this.
We got all sorts of people in there. Man, there's so many people. What the heck? Wow, that's crazy. I'm sad that I'm not in the list of what members are making. It doesn't matter, but I don't know why it's only like a very small portion of the members. It's kind of odd. There's 80 people in this team now. Jeez. It's crazy. Alrighty. What do we want to raid? What's Adagon working on?
Or pedal.
Slimes. Why not? Okay. Well, I'm gonna have enough to stream. I'm just too tired right now. I would stream longer, but I didn't get that much sleep, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know.
So?
I think I will be better not streaming right now. Okay, let me get this raid going. All right, well, anyways, thank you everybody for coming to stream. I appreciate it. I'll be live Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll just be working more on Starground. I don't know what exactly, because like that's gonna be after this update comes out, and of course we'll do the little bug fix stuff, but I think it's time for more content, which is nice, because I think people tend to get very bored of this kind of stuff, and I don't blame them. It's just boring stuff, you know, loading up the game 500 times and checking this little thing. Oh, this pixel is misaligned 1/4 of a pixel over. It's so boring. But adding new stuff actually will probably be kind of fun, because people can kind of throw out some ideas and stuff, and we can make it a little better. But yeah, thank you everybody. I appreciate it. Be live Friday. Be sure to check out Starground on Steam. We need one more review, I think, for the 50 review thing, which will get us very positive. So, you know, consider leaving a review of the game. I would would love to get that one more review. But yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody. And yeah, we're gonna go raid Adagon, raid messages, the big boy raid as per usual. And yeah, Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you Friday. Bye-bye.